On April 27, 1865, a steamboat called the Sultana exploded on the Mississippi River. Approximately 1,800 people died. That is more people than died on the Titanic. Almost nobody has heard of this disaster. And the reason it happened, the reason 1,800 people died, comes down to a single engineering decision that seemed completely logical at the time. The boiler had cracked. Engineers repaired it. The repair looked correct. The pressure tests said it was sound. 3 days later, it killed everyone aboard. Here is the physics of why. It is April 1865. The Civil War is ending. At Vicksburg, Mississippi, thousands of Union prisoners of war are being released from Confederate camps. Andersville, Cahaba. Men who have survived years of captivity are finally going home, north, along the river. The Sultana is a side-wheel steamboat built for commerce on the Mississippi. It is rated for 376 passengers. It is about to carry 2,400. Before she leaves Vicksburg, an inspector examines the boilers. He finds a problem. One of the 4 boilers has a bulging section near a seam. The metal has been working too hard for too long. There is a crack forming at the seam. The correct repair is to replace the entire damaged section. Cut it out, weld in new plate steel, same thickness as the original wall. Restore the geometry as though the damage never happened. That repair takes 2 to 3 days. The Sultana is under contract. There are soldiers on the dock. Time is money, and the war is over, and everyone wants to go home. So a different repair is made. A steel patch plate, slightly thinner than the original wall, is riveted over the damaged section. It covers the crack completely. The boiler is tested under pressure. It holds. The inspector is not satisfied with the thinner patch plate. He recommends full section replacement. From every measurement available in 1865, the boiler is functional. The Sultana departs Vicksburg on April 24, 1865, carrying approximately 2,400 people, 6 times her rated capacity. The boilers run. The pressure gauges read normal. The crew monitors the system, as they always have. Nothing about the patch behaves differently than the original metal from the outside. Here is what the engineers could not see in 1865. A patch repair does not restore original stress geometry. It creates new geometry, and new geometry creates new physics. Think about what a boiler does. It holds steam under pressure, typically 135 to 145 pounds per square inch on the Sultana. That pressure pushes outward in every direction, constantly. The boiler wall is under tension. It is being pulled apart slowly at a level no engineer could see every second the boilers run. A smooth, continuous boiler wall handles this well. The tension distributes evenly across the whole surface. No single point carries disproportionate load. But when you rivet a patch plate over a section of that wall, you change the geometry. The patch plate sits on top of the original wall, a lap joint, and at the edges of that patch, at every rivet hole, at every seam between new metal and old, the smooth distribution of stress stops. Stress cannot flow cleanly past an edge. It concentrates there. At a riveted lap joint, the metal at the boundary experiences 2 to 3 times the stress of the surrounding wall. The surrounding wall is fine, the edges are not, and the edges cycle. Every time the boiler heats up, pressure builds. The wall is under tension. Every time it cools or the firebox is banked, the tension releases. Load on, load off. Every cycle bends the metal at the patch edge microscopically. 10 cycles, 100, 1,000. The metal at the edge bends back and forth at the microscale. This is called metal fatigue. And fatigue has a number, a cycle count at which a crack stops growing slowly and starts to grow fast. The Sultana ran for 3 days after the repair. Her boilers cycled dozens of times. Each cycle, the crack at the patch boundary grew, invisibly inside the metal at a scale no inspector could see. At April 27th, at approximately 2 a.m., the Sultana is north of Memphis, pushing against a strong spring current. The boilers are running at high pressure to maintain speed on a loaded, overcrowded vessel. The firebox is hot, the pressure gauge reads normal, the crew sees nothing wrong. Somewhere inside the patch boundary, the crack has reached critical length. The patch separates. The boiler wall behind it, the original cracked wall, now unsupported, ruptures. The steam, under 140 pounds per square inch, releases instantaneously. 3 boilers fail in rapid sequence. The explosion is heard 40 miles in Memphis. The ship's superstructure, the upper decks, the pilot house, the smokestacks, collapses into the blast zone. More than 1,800 people are thrown into the Mississippi River. In the dark, most of them cannot swim. The water is cold. They are weakened from years in prison camps. Within 2 hours, the Sultana has sunk. It is the deadliest maritime disaster in American history. More than the Titanic, more than any other single event on American waterways before or since. Within days, the national press has moved on. Abraham Lincoln has just been assassinated. The war is ending. The country is consuming a different story. The Sultana disappears. The investigation concludes what physics already knew. A patch repair does not restore the original stress geometry of the wall. A lap joint, a plate riveted over existing metal, creates a permanent stress concentration at its boundary. The thinner the patch plate relative to the original wall, the worse the mismatch. The higher the operating pressure, the faster fatigue accumulates at the boundary. The repair was not wrong because the engineers were careless. It was wrong because the science of stress concentration at lap joints was not yet fully understood in 1865. Fatigue failure in metals was only beginning to be characterized. The tools to calculate what was happening at the patch edge did not yet exist. But the disaster accelerated that knowledge. Because of the Sultana and the long series of boiler explosions that preceded and followed it, the United States developed mandatory boiler inspection and design standards. The rule it establishes is unambiguous. A repair to a pressure vessel under tension must restore original stress geometry. A patch is not equivalent to section replacement. In 1914, the American Society of Mechanical Engineers published the first ASME boiler and pressure vessel code. It is now the international standard governing every pressure vessel designed, built, or repaired in the world. If you cannot restore the geometry, you replace the section. That rule was written in the Wreckage of the Sultana and 100 disasters like it. The Sultana carried 2,400 people on a ship designed for 376. It carried a patched boiler on a route that demanded full pressure. It carried an assumption that covering a crack was the same as healing one. A patch repair does not restore original stress geometry. It creates a new stress concentration at every edge. The engineers repaired the crack. They built a new one. The next time you see a pressure vessel, a boiler room, a gas cylinder, a hydraulic line, an aircraft fuselage, look for the seams. That is where the geometry changes. And geometry is where physics collects its debts.